see. Me kodaya na me die. Me story na wabatansa. Enuntino. Me kwasuma bo wabodi no. Uyo nyame kai. Nukre nyame nyame ni wo. Nukre dieti na mami o yeni ene mayo. Sene mitiasia. Masene se asidan kampida. Seme kai odumni atoya. Waya mama fimo.
In David's own words, in Psalm 119, Psalm 119, verse 9 and 10, let's see David's own words. It's so serious that this man, he offered everything he can unto God, not unto man. Psalm 119, verse 9, wherewithal shall a young man cleanse his ways? By taking heed thereunto according to thy word. With my whole heart I sought thee. Oh, let me not wander from thy commandments. David's own words. Was he saying the truth? Nobody knows. Was David saying the truth? Nobody knows. This is David. This is David. At times it's very, very painful when you see a man speaking like this and you don't know him. You might run for a shelter, but he is going to be the killer into your life. So many people, they speak and they cannot fulfill their words. Their words are different from their action. I couldn't believe that a man who wrote this and always trying to say better things of himself, not knowing he was not exactly who he was. Whatever he wrote, good words, everything came out. He wasn't the real David. He became a different personality. Along the line, we all see the danger of not keeping your heart diligent. Let's see the same David in 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 24. 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 24. We are seeing heart condition. Are you the same man? Do you say what you say? Do you do it? That's the question. 2 Samuel chapter 24, verse 24. Let's read. This is a man who wrote it. He's David. Let's see. What did he say here? And the king said, Aaron, nay, I will not. Surely buy it, I will surely buy it of thee at a price. Neither will I offer burnt offering unto the Lord my God, of which thou hast cost me nothing. So David bought the threshing floor and the oxen for 50 shekels of silver. Hallelujah. Get the understand clear from verse 23. And all these things did Araunah, a king, gave unto King David. And Araunah said, the king, the Lord God, has said thee. You see, somebody wanted to give a gift to David, who was going to build an altar for the Lord. And David said, no, Araunah, this is the land you are offering to me free. I can't, because I have to pay something to make sure that it is from my own source I've given it to God. So Araunah, I won't take it. And indeed, David bought it. What a gentleman. your heart condition like that? Check it. David said, I will never take it free. These days, many pastors take things free from people. And they say it is the Lord's blessing. But David said, I don't like the Lord's blessing that is without any struggle. I don't. I need to make sure from my own heart, from my own source, I'm provided to the Lord. That is David. Genuine man, isn't he genuine? Genuine. But David was not genuine in a certain point. Before I come to you will understand it. Are you who you are? Do you do what you say? That is the question. Come back to another point. King David. In 1 Samuel chapter 30, from 21 to 25. 1 Samuel chapter 30. Let's see the genuine man David, who portrayed himself to be the only genuine person. But he was not. 1 Kings chapter 30 from verse 21. And David came to the 200 men who were so faint that they could not follow David, whom they had made also to abide the brook Bassor. And they went forth to meet David, and to meet the people that were with him. And when David came near to the people, he saluted them. What a gentleman. These days, pastors, even when you stop coming to their church, they become enemies to you. These days, pastors, if you don't give them gifts, they will become enemies to you. But here is David, when he was going to chase the Amalekites who have been taking their country and burn Ziklag, David's hometown, with fire. But David met them. And these men could not go with David because they were fainted. They were so weak. And when they stayed behind, David came back and saw them, and he went straight to salute them. Can you salute your people who betrayed you? Genuine David, but he was not. He was trying to please people. He was doing something. He think it was rare, but he was in a dirty way. David was trying to please men. And I thank God that if you want to please men, you will never be a servant of God. It's so dangerous. See, here in verse 22, then all the wicked men, listen, and men of Belial, of those that went with David, and said, because they went not with us, we will not give them out of the spoils that we have recovered, say to every man his wife and his children, and they may lead them away and depart. Verse 23, then said David, ye shall not do so, my brethren, with that which the Lord hath given us, who hath preserved us and delivered the company that came against us into our hands. For we will hearken unto you, for who will hearken unto you in this matter? But this part is that, but as his part is that goeth down to the battle, so shall his part be that tarry by the staff, and they shall part alike. And it was so from the day forward that he made it a statute and an ordinance of Israel unto this day. What a good man. People who were wicked among him who went to fight with the Amalekites. They said, David, we have retrieved everything. We are not going to give anything to anybody except their wife and children. But the spoils, the goodies, we are going to keep to ourselves. King David, a man who portrayed to be genuine, said, nay, it will never happen. We have to part it. According to each one, the same measure you give to those who went with me, the same measure I'm going to give to those who did not go with me. And it became a status up till today in Israel. Genuine man, but was not. Amen. these scriptures, I come back to a point and I say, why God, David, so genuine in his own eyes, come to 1 Samuel chapter 24. We are reading David, and I want you to check this condition. 1 Samuel chapter 24, verse 1 and 7. This is so important to learn when you are learning the scriptures. 1 Samuel chapter 24. It came to pass when Saul was returned from following the Philistine that it was told him, saying, Behold, David is in the wilderness of En-Gedi. Then Saul took 3,000 chosen men out of all Israel and went and sought David and his men upon the rock of wild goats. And he came to Shepherd. By the way, there was a cave, and Saul was to cover his feet, and David and his men remained in the side of the cave. And the men of David said unto him, Behold, the day of which the Lord said unto thee, Behold, I will deliver thine enemies into thy hands, and thou mayest do him as it seems good unto thee. Then David arose and cut off the skirt of Saul's robe privately. And it came to pass afterward that David had smote him because he had cut off Saul's skirt. And he said unto his men, The Lord forbid that I do these things unto my master, the anointed, to stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is the Lord anointed. What a genuine man. You see the history of 2 Samuel chapter 11. We're going to see the opposite side of this man. The opposite side of this man, David. The pretender. In the sight of God, he was good, but not to the end. 2 Samuel chapter 11, I'm reading from verse 20, verse 1. And it came to pass after the year was expired, at the time when kings go for a battle, that David sent Joab and his servant with him and all Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Reba. But David tarried still at Jerusalem. Let's see this. At times we try to stay away from God. It was a time for a battle. That day David decided not to go. I've never seen a king being so wicked and allow his servants to go off for a battlefront without a king. It has never happened in life. It has never happened. Because it is always the king who leads battle. But here, one day, David said, I've had enough with God. I'm no more continuing with this God, and I will stay in Jerusalem. Check your heart. Sometimes your excuses are not tangible. God, I'm not going to church today because I'm tired. I'm not going to church today because I'm weary. That day you don't know the snare of the enemy. A man who professed to be genuine, he refused to go to war. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. And it came to pass in the eventide that David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. And David sent and inquired after this woman. And he said, Is not this Bathsheba, the daughter of Elim, and the wife of Uriah the Hittite? And David sent a messenger and took her and came into him, and he lay with her, and she was purified from her person, and he returned unto her house. What happened? What happened? Again, you see here, listen carefully. I've gone through scriptures upon scriptures for you to know the condition of heart. Again, you see here, said David, a that one cockle. Listen carefully. Even he inquired. That is the first scripture. Now, if you can't know what kind of something was it Uriah, a year. It did not sink deep in David's heart. It didn't. Instantly, the man who is after God's own heart changed and became a different person. That is heart. And this man, when they told him, Bathsheba, Uriah's wife, oh, bring her down. Who is Uriah? Under my foot. A man who feared God changed instantly. My dear sister, my dear brother, you are not beyond the devil's temptation. Watch your heart. I always say that when you trust yourself to be strong, don't forget your weakness. Your weakness is always watching you. Your strength, you have acquired it already, but your weakness is always looking at you, and that will be your downfall in one day. This man said, no, I don't care. I've been a king. I can take anything I want. Let's see the danger of this man's heart condition. Immediately, Satan entered into him. And the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with a child. I said, Mama. I said, Mama. Then a man and it doesn't matter what God can say about you. It doesn't. But you need to watch yourself. What can David do? At times it's bitter to hear this man, very gentle, genuine, portraying himself to the Israelites that I am the only king who cares. But he never cares. You look at it, and what the conceived woman, after that, the plans of David. And verse 6, and David sent to Joab, saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And then Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how did and how the people did, and how the war prospered. Verse 8, and David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed out of the king's house, and there followed him with mass of meat from the king. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house. Life is dangerous. You see, what was the intention of David sending Uriah back from the war front? And even saying, go to thy house and lie with your wife. This man's heart has totally changed now. He think he was the only wisest man on this planet. So Uriah go home and lie with the wife. Then that day, coming from a battlefront, and you have tired for many years not seeing your wife, that day will be a grobeso. But this man said, for me to go and enjoy with my wife, may God forbid, I will sleep at the king's door. Because the children of God are in the battlefield. I'm not going to entertain myself with a woman, but I'd rather stay and watch the king. This is David. schemer. He was scheming, planning evil. Watch your heart as I'm watching my heart. The heart is so wicked. And look at what happened. Look at what happened. Verse 9. And Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of the Lord, and went not down to his house. Verse 10. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down into his house, and David said unto Uriah, comest thou not from thy journey? Why did thou go down unto thy house? And Uriah said unto David, the ark of the Lord, Israel and Judah, abide in tent, and my Lord Joab and the servant of the Lord are encamped in an open field. Then shall I then go into my house to eat and drink, and to lie with my wife as liveth, and as thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing. Come on, listen, unbeliever, keep tight. Somebody who was out of God's covenant, saying to David, my heart is clean. I will never leave the work of God down and do anything for myself. I don't know. It is not about your coming to church. It's about your heart. Now David has become a monster. David has become a monster. He didn't even think of anymore that God is still alive. There is no clue. David is saying, no, I'm of my own. There is no God. I don't believe in that God who called me. But this man said, as for the war, I will never go and enjoy myself with a wife. I need to tarry until the children of God get their victory. Look at verse 12. And David said unto Uriah, tarry here today also and tomorrow, and I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and the morrow. And let's see. Verse 13. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk, that even he went to lie on his bed with the servant of his Lord, but went not down to his house. Listeners, just better follow these things very carefully. A genuine David has changed. He got this man drunk. You know, if you are drunk, what is first? S-E-X. If he gets drunk, then he will forget himself and walk straight to his house. But even getting him drunk, the man said, nay, I am drunk, but my heart is not drunk. My heart is not drunk. I will make sure I will not defile myself as an intern. If you maybe I want to why you say, when you will 10 minutes will be something waiting for you. David said to this man, go. As you are drunk, I know my trap will work. When I trap somebody with wine, it will work. But wine failed. Goodies failed. That is a man after God's own heart, not David. The God we are serving is a clean God. He can give you everything. But even when you get them, is the legacy you are going to leave here on this planet, will there be anything that will tarnish it? Ask yourself this question. After all, when you read about David, all the good things about David is there. But what about this? Check your life. What about this? It's the most unspeakable, the shameful thing ever happened on this earth. And in Kwasi Kasibia, where to see. Who will be in Kwada, as I was so cool, didn't come. Now, saying a minibar. I saw for who may be with me. And yet, I know, and yet, soon, and yet, I come out, and yet, soon, we serve God with the Spirit of God. They that are led by the Spirit are called the sons of God. It's not they that are led by their heart. If you are led by the Spirit, you can be the son of God. You see, when you check it, verse 14, and it came to pass in the morning that David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter saying, set Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. This is the most sad part. He wrote a letter and he said, you take this letter, go and give it to your boss. You see, the most sad part is this man was carrying his own death warrant, but he never opened it. Is it not sad? Carrying your own death warrant in your hand. Innocent person. Innocent as Uriah is. Yet, because of submission to the leadership, he was still going. He was still going. He never cared what will entail, what his life is going to be. Either I die for the Lord. And let us see Joab giving consent to what David did. Even, you see, sometimes the enemy comes in two ways. You see, you, Joab, knowing good and bad, you still leading because your master have told you to do an evil thing and you agree. Even if your wife, your husband, give you a bad report or bad decision, please, woman, man, don't follow. Judgment is not between you and your wife. It's the individual. But Joab stood and said, I will do it. And let's see what Joab did. It's so sad. In verse 16, and it came to pass, when Joab observed the city, that assigned Uriah unto a place where he knew that valiant men were, and the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people, and the servant of David, the Uriah the Hittite, also died. Now David has succeeded. David has done what? Was it good success? If it means you take to prosper yourself and it's not of the Lord, watch it out. Watch it. You have any legitimate means to make riches, but watch out. Is your riches coming from the good source? Is it of the Lord? David made every means, he tried every possible means, and he got rid of this man. But is it for a good heart? So can you trust David? God, He is God. You can never question God. But sometimes when you think about certain things, there's a question mark. I've checked so many things in my heart and I say, God, no. At times I can't understand you. You always say this and that. But yet still God is God. I'm not going to follow the lifestyle of David. I'm going to see the lesson which I'm learning from David. How cruel he became when he allowed Satan to capture his heart. So it's all about your heart. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. As Proverbs chapter 4 verse 23 says, with all diligence. But thank God that God had mercy on this man. Uriah is dead. Let's see the report. Then Joab sent and told David all the things concerning the war. And he charged the messenger, saying, where thou hast made an end of telling the matter of the war unto the king, if so be the king wrath arise, and he say unto thee, wherefore approach ye so near unto the city, when ye did fight? Knew ye not that they would shoot from the wall? Who smote Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal? Did not a woman cast a piece of milestone upon him from the wall, and he died in Thebes? Why went ye near the wall? Then say thou, the servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. So the messenger went and came and shewed David all that Joab had sent him for. And the messenger said unto David, surely the man prevailed against us, and came out unto us into the field, and we were upon the even unto the entering of the gate. And the shooters shot from off the wall upon the servant, and some of the king's servants be dead. And thy servant Uriah the Hittite is dead also. Then David said unto the messenger, thou shalt thou say unto Joab, let not these things displease thee, for the sword devour one as well as another. Make thy battle more stronger against the city, and overthrow it, and encourage thou him. Now he is condoning and conniving with Joab. Oh, you've done well. Good done. Well done. You are encouraging yourself with evil. Check something there. And I'm finishing with you. Come to the verse 12. Chapter 12. Let's see chapter 12. We are reading from chapter 12 from verse 1. And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, there was two men in one city, and the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceedingly many flocks and herds, but the poor man had nothing save one little ewe lamb, which he had brought and nourished up, and it grew up together with him and with his children, and it did eat of his own meat, and drank of his own cup, and lay in his bosom, and was him as a daughter. And there came a traveler on the rich man to take of him one own flock of his own head, to dress for the wavering man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb and dressed it for the man that was come to him. And David's anger was kindled against the man, and he said unto Nathan, as the Lord lives, the man that has done this thing shall surely die. Come on. You see the condition of man's heart. This is the same like Ghana. People steal huge money and they are set free. And people who just steal cassava are cast into prison. David said, this man ought to do what? Die. When someone's wife and kill the husband. Do you see how the condition of the heart is? The heart is desperately weak. The heart that is in us is very dangerous. Watch it. Watch your heart. Don't complain about anybody, complain about yourself. It's better to think of your life more than somebody's life. David said, this man ought to do what? God forgive us. Hallelujah. Check the last one, then I'm done. In verse 6. And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity. Hey, have you ever been the prophet? Anybody been here? Who would the person know? It's me, and in front, one who's so bad. I'm telling you the gospel truth. Evil spirit, they are not things that to be scared of, but be scared of your fellow human being. Anybody know? So, I've learned so many things from David, and that's me. Because of these studies I have for many years, I always keep watch of my heart. I always don't allow anything to flood in. Even when just cycle is coming in, I don't entertain it at all. Anything evil, never in my mind will I entertain it. Because I've checked David's life and I said, Satan does not respect anyone. He doesn't. He's always like a roaring lion. When you give yourself, he will use you. But David said, what? The last one, David said, and I'm done. The last word of David. In verse 8. In verse 7. And Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Hallelujah. Thou art the man. Who are you thou to condemn one another? Thou art the woman. What about you? What about you? Ask that question. You're barely when you're what about you? This was David. Who won away? Who won away? Who be an away? Nobody is good. Nobody is good. But I'm telling you the gospel truth. Watch your heart. A guilty man who knows out of himself that he is guilty of what he has done, but he still thinks he is on hiding. To God, there is no hiding place. If nobody saw him, God had already seen him. He got through God that revealed it to Nathan. God had revealed that man for me. For God, he had mercy on David because he trusted him. The man who thinks he is clean, not knowing he is the wolf among the sheep. Don't make yourself as clean and at the same time move among the sheep. Snake under grass. Dangerous. It's so dangerous. What do I do? What time? Don't fake. Don't try to fake. Never try to be who you are not. Present yourself genuine. Make yourself clean. For God watches the heart. And He knows the intention of the thoughts. When you know him, now they won't blame who see our brain, wait, was the way they say, that will do our home. You regret massively. And I'm giving you this last warning that watch your life. And David, what did he do? The man said, you are the man. Then you will ask, what do you mean so because Bonnie no affair will say, oh yeah, at a key. You did it in secret, but it has come out. I haven't seen you doing anything, but God has seen you. I'm not going to judge you. David thought no one is there to judge him, but already the judge in heaven has already seen him. Keep it. Don't keep anything in your heart while you know it is evil. Let it go, and God will bless you. Amen.
Sorry now about son. And no